What's going on, guys? I want to make a quick video showing you a tip that I learned from a fellow knife maker, Brian Fellholter, on how to make a really quick and simple etch pad for your electric etching machine. And what we have here is simply just a large carbon brush for an industrial sized motor. And what's really nice about this particular style of brush is that it's actually two pieces that's fused together with a small piece of rubber adhesive on the back. And it has four separate conductors coming off of each corner, tied together at a single lug. And what's nice about that is that you can take this over to a bandsaw or even stick it in a vise and use a hacksaw to cut this in half and have four nearly identical carbon blocks, each with its own conductor to finish up and use as your etch pad. And just to show you a real quick example of what that looks like after you cut this in half and take the rubber adhesive off the back, you'll end up with four of these. You just cut one off, and then you have a single etching pad ready to finish up. And all you really need to do after this is go ahead and get a piece of heat shrink tube or even just some electrical tape or silicone tape. Wrap it around the body here so that only the end is exposed. That'll keep it insulated from your fingers, keep you from getting a shock. And then you want to do the same to this conductor, which you can then attach to your etching machine however you see fit. One thing you can do is just go ahead and solder a lead with a banana plug or whatever other connector that your etching machine uses. Solder that onto the end of this, or you can just have an alligator clamp like I do to clip onto the end of this conductor, and you're ready to go. Then of course, once this is all insulated, you can wrap a piece of felt or other absorbent material around the end, either with a small O-ring or a rubber band. That'll then be ready to dip into your electrolyte solution and hold up against your stencils for etching your blades or other tools. And here's just a real quick example. I believe I've made a video on this one before of a larger one I made. Very similar process. It's a similar type of brush, just with a piece of felt and a rubber band, some silicone tape, and a banana plug soldered on the end. And that's pretty much it. One more thing I will mention is that these brushes do have a slight radius to them, or actually a very large radius, to match the commutator that they plug in against. Quick way to fix that is simply to take it to your belt sander, flatten that out, or even just put a piece of sandpaper down on your workbench or a granite surface plate. Go back and forth a few times and flatten that out, such as I already did to this one. Another thing you can do is file some grooves around the periphery of this. And that'll give something for your rubber band or your O-ring to seat into to keep it from slipping off after you put your felt on the end. So that's it, guys. I know there's not too much detail there, but hopefully it's self-explanatory on how to make a really quick and easy etch pad for really not a lot of money. These you can find at any industrial electrical supply for just a few bucks a piece. I'm sure you can even find them on eBay. You could probably get several of them for less than $10 or $20. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you can put it to use. And let me know what you think. We'll see. Hey guys, just wanted to make a second half to this video real quickly to show you an example of a finished etch pad. Once again, I took a quarter piece off of one of these industrial sized motor brushes. I did go ahead and round all the corners off just to make sure it didn't cut into my heat shrink tubing. Here's an example of what it looked like before the tubing was put in place. And then I just put some heat shrink over the conductor, a larger piece over the block, zip tied a piece of felt onto the end of it, and I used a male and female spade connector to tie it to a banana plug that I already had made up. And I could have also used a barrel crimp. That would have probably been a little nicer, a little cleaner looking. or I could have even just twisted it together and put some heat shrink tubing around it. But this works fine, and if this ever gets damaged or broken, I just have to cut this tubing off, unplug it, make a new one, plug it back in. So really doesn't get any simpler than that, and I got a very effective, very cheap etch pad. And one thing I will add, I'll probably end up wrapping a little bit of electrical tape around the end of this, or at least trimming that felt down a little bit more, as it will tend to wick up my electrolyte and start zapping my fingers if I'm not careful. But that's it, guys. Hopefully you learned something, and you have enough to go make your own very cheap, very effective etch pads. Thanks for watching, guys.